A very good evening and welcome to the CRNFC grounds for our double header weekend here on Saturday, the 26th of April. It's an important day for these two Kandy teams who are travelling down. Trinity College taking on St. Anthony's College. Trinity College will be the home team designate for today, and they'll take on their hometown rivals. And St. Anthony's, of course, have made the long trip down just like the host team. And it will be an important match for both teams to get their seasons off to a big start. And of course, we talked about it a little while earlier on in the broadcast with Romario, but just to ask Sudarshana's views as well. Sudarshana, the knockout tournament being played for the first time in a long time. I don't remember as long as I've been alive that it has been played like this. But an interesting experiment by the school section and the Dialog Trophy knockout tournament preceding the league tournament.
Absolutely, Shanak. I think the best thing to come out of this being played earlier is the fact that all schools are participating, and also I think the coaches and the management staff of every single outfit will not be complaining as well, because they do get a run and some time to make up anything that's gone wrong in their initial outings. So with the forecast for today, it's very cloudy. Currently, it feels like it's about 29-30, but very humid outside. So both these teams, Trinity and St. Anthony's, will struggle a little bit. And we are very thankful that the rain god stayed away during the first game. Otherwise, it would have been a difficult affair here at CRNFC under lights.
Certainly would have, and it's very cloudy today, Sudarshan, and the humidity was at the next level in the afternoon. So there's no saying what could happen a little while later on. And the sooner they kick this game off, I think that's going to be for everyone concerned. The Trinity College team warming up, and always very colourful your warm-ups, Sudarshana. The Trinity College team in the red, gold and blue, always looking very bright and vibrant. But these are the matches that we have coming up. The President's Trophy pre-quarter-final, and we have Zahira taking on, actually that's today, we have Zahira taking on Vidyartha, and then we have Isipatana taking on Sri Sumangala. And we just saw the match between Science College and St. Thomas's College, and this is the second one we have between Trinity College and St. Anthony's. So we had Isipatana winning handsomely against Sri Sumangala, 61 points to nil. And then we had St. Thomas's also with 60 points, but unfortunately for them, they conceded 33, more than Isipatana conceded against Sri Sumangala. So that's an interesting little bit of news from the first round of games that we had on this double header Saturday. But looking towards Zahira and Vidyartha College as well, a little bit close, but Zahira coming through.
16 points to 12, well fought affair at Havelock Park. Zahira College will be wanting to make sure that they put a marker continuing, and the Antonians is going to be we'll come back to that. Past 10 minutes of the Schools Rugby Knockout 2025 tournament. It has been dominated by St. Peter's and Isipatana being the winner for 4 occasions.
Well, that Wesley College win seems like it was yesterday for me, Sudarshana, but my goodness, it was a whole 12 years ago. Rahul De Silva's team coming through and I think beating Trinity, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, in the final. And this was the year prior to Tarinder Ratwate, who played in 2014. That was the year captained by Halik Wadud. And Rahul De Silva's team had the likes of Seagert's absolutely brilliant side that managed to go the distance.
Isipatana, of course, have won 4 of those knockout tournaments on offer in the last few years. And St. Peter's College also being a dominant force. They've won 3. St. Joseph's winning that one tournament in 2017. That was at the racecourse. It was a big win as well. But in the last few years, St. Peter's and Isipatana really have been the team to beat.
I think Science most glorious moment in Schools Rugby in 2015, that side which was captained by Lasindu Karunathalika, who has gone on to become an absolute gem of a player for both club and country.
Yes, he has been an outstanding player, hasn't he? A superb product of Science College. And he was one of those one-club players for a long time until he moved to CRNFC to win a league title. But we'll bring you a lot more of those statistics, a lot more trivia, and a lot more action when we come back after the break.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා.
පිත්තියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get. Spray. Go.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා. ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සදහමයි.
Our forests come in many forms. They can be up in the hills or down in the plains, fed by the rain or sculpted by the sun. Our forests are deeply rooted in us. They are a living inspiration.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
Maliban lemon puff puff. Lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff. හැමසිතක්ම පිපිදේ. රස lemon රසයේ. ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි. Maliban lemon puff puff. Lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff. Chill when lemon.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Maliban lemon puff puff. Lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff. හැමසිතක්ම පිපිදේ. රස lemon රසයේ. ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි. Maliban lemon puff puff. Lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff. Chill when lemon.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සරවිහිතේ හික්කක සිත බැන්දාවාතේ ෆයිලන ෆැෂන් දපේ
හික්කක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
As the pioneer in Sri Lanka's bottled water industry, American Water has set the standard for over 3 decades, made to be shared between friends. To fuel your next move. For a festive family meal. To help you stay hydrated wherever you may roam. For over 30 years, we've brought the Earth's bounty directly to you, wherever you are, whatever your needs.
Car Radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සදහමයි.
පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින්.
Very good afternoon. As the shadows lengthen here Very good evening, I should say, as the shadows lengthen here at the Sierra FC grounds and the lights are coming on. The clouds are making an appearance in the distance. Hopefully they will remain closed and not open until this match finishes. We have two Kandy teams taking each other on in this pre-quarterfinal round of 16 in the Dialog Schools knockout tournament being played before the Schools League tournament. And as we see, St. Anthony's warming up on the right-hand side of your screen, and Trinity College in their familiar uniforms on the left. And this was the launch of the tournament, Sudarshana, a star-studded evening, of course, with everyone looking forward to all teams participating in this tournament, Dulaj Navodaya and the former Pete Wright captain and the Pratana captain bringing out the knockout trophy.
There's two players who've gone on to impress in the domestic setup as well. Dulaj Navodaya for Sri Lions and then Nisaja for Havelock Sports Club. And these are the men that will be driving their respective teams to battle. There was a fireside chat with the officials of the Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association, sharing their thoughts on what they expect from these competitions. I think most times they're not doing a thankless job, and Dialog Asia, of course, being the proud sponsor of the Dialog Schools Rugby League and also Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts for 25. It's going to be a crack-a-lacking affair this week. Kickstarts the proceedings of the largest followed spectator sport in the country, and for a country who have done so well in cricket, it's a big statement.
It really is, and you can see exactly why the sponsors are champing at the bit to come out for the schools rugby tournaments. And we have the pre-quarterfinals this weekend, yesterday, today and tomorrow, and then we have the quarterfinals next weekend, 3rd and 4th of May, and then a 1-week break before they come out with the semi-finals on the 9th and 11th, and then of course we have the all-important final on the 18th of May. And of course everyone is looking forward to the Dialog Schools Rugby League season, and the first round will start on the 6th of June to the 6th of July, and the second round 18th of July to the 10th of August.
Going to be a very, very interesting one. And like you mentioned, first time we are playing the knockouts tournament prior to the league tournament, almost like giving a teaser to all the fans to try and see where their teams rank up. But most of these teams, despite being the first game yesterday, both the games were highly competitive and big scoring affairs. Here St. Thomas's against Science College was also a highly high scoring game. Both teams delivering punches at each other. So a lot of the coaches will go back, and these are the league groups. Group A, St. Peter's, DSN Anayaka College, Wesley College, Science College, the Antonians and Anand College, the newcomers into the top division. Group B has Isipatana College, St. Thomas's, Zahira College, Dharmaraja Kinsut College and Mahanama, with Group C consisting of Royal College and Trinity College, Vidyartha, St. Joseph, Sri Sumangala and Thurston College. Going to be a very, very interesting one where the top two will proceed on to the cup segment with number 3 and 4 proceeding to the plate segment, and the last two teams who will battle it out in the bowl segment.
Yes, it is an interesting format. Plenty of rugby to be played for all the teams, regardless of where they finish in the group. We'll be back with live action after the break.
Now Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection samagin pirimin sadahamai. Now Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection samagin pirimin sadahamai.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Now Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection samagin pirimin sadahamai.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
Swistek Aquashield 2K waterproofer. සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තු මිසර විහිදේ හික්කක සිත බැඳා කෙරේ ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් බබේ
හික්කක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තු මීල් ෆාම් තමයි.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Schools rugby knockout action live from CRNFC. St. Anthony's preparing to run out under their long flag, and Trinity also just going in to change from their warm-up jersey into their match jersey, and we'll see both teams running out in just a moment. Sudarshan Appear in the commentary box with me. A good hit out for all the coaches and all the teams. They get to see each other in the tournament. There's no skullduggery. Everyone gets to see everyone else and the way they play. So it's going to be an important factor for the season going forward. And especially the teams that don't progress beyond maybe the quarterfinals, they still have a little bit more time for preparation, don't they?
100%, Shanak, and also being a knockout game, it will test the resolve of the players as well. And the early test is going to be absolutely amazing for the coaches and also the players. Some of them who are wearing those jerseys for the very first time. This game is going to be a very interesting one, especially because of the fact that I can guarantee you none of the players from either of the teams would have played any rugby under lights. So that's going to be a unique experience for both the teams, and it could be the great leveler between the two.
Yes, it certainly would be. And of course, two coaches who know each other extremely well, have been teammates for many years, both for Kandy and Sri Lanka. And incidentally, Salia Kumara, an old Trinitian, coaching against his old team. And Fazil Marija, former Kingswoodian, who's made a small walk across town to become head coach of Trinity. He made the small walk across town, signed the papers, and a long bus ride to Pallekele.
Well, yes, I think they won't be complaining these days, especially. We all know how overcrowded Kandy has become suddenly in the past couple of weeks. So the long bus ride to Pallekele might be much more comforting for them than the Antonians trying to walk even from Katukasuru to Nitwela.
And while we're talking about Trinity College and making a few jokes at your expense, Sudarshana, we have to say hi to one of our very good friends who's probably joined us all the way from Adelaide, Australia, Dinuk Bhaskaran, who we unfortunately won't be seeing in the commentary box anytime soon because he's made the move with his young family, and we wish him all the very best, and I'm sure he's joining us on this broadcast with cheering on his old team.
Well, knowing Dinuk, I can assure you, Shanaka, he would have been locked on from 3:30 p.m. as well, because he would have wanted to see who the opponents will be for the ultimate winner of this game as well. So big shout out to Dinuk in the land down under. I think he made the early exit from the country to make sure that he's there in time for the World Cup.
Yes, absolutely. And of course the Lions tour, which is coming up, I'm sure he's already saving up some money for that, and try and catch a Lions test. That will be fantastic. Make a short drive across to Victoria and maybe catch them in Melbourne. But the crowds have come in their numbers for this Dialog Schools Knockout Trophy entertainment, this double header. The CRNFC bar generating some revenue as well, and from a very happy Thomian contingent. And here are the two teams, what we've been waiting for. It's been a long wait, and the teams have warmed up very hard, but they're finally here. The Trinitians under their new captain. St. Anthony's with a point to prove, a powerhouse in schools rugby towards the turn of the century. And of course, even before that, produced many legends of Sri Lanka rugby. But have fallen off a little bit, but the injection of Salia Kumara bound to make a difference.
Absolutely, sir. The Antonians were forced to be reckoned with, especially during the time I played. That was in at the latter part of the 2010s. Shanaka, they were absolute brilliant side, but like you mentioned, have strayed a little bit, so they will want to get their mojo back into the rhythm. Both these teams have a massive rivalry against each other, and the last winner of the last victorious outing for the Antonians, I believe, came way back in 2013 or 2010, I believe. Yes, 10. Our good friend Abid corrects me and tells me it's 2010. And the Antonians will want to make sure that they turn it around here. However, before we go on to the proceedings, there will be a 2-minute silence, which will and we will be led in prayer by the Reverend Father from St. Anthony's College, marking the funeral of the head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis. Antonians and Trinitians playing the game with black armbands in respect of the Pope.
St. Anthony's defense up quickly. Stepping back into the field of play that time was ThePapare. Here's a big run by Akash Kodituaku, but he's met in a solid tackle. Altaf injecting himself into the line. The ball is a little bit behind Satish Kumar. Again, a thumping tackle by the Antonian number 3. That's Abekon. And here's some space now opening up. The Trinity and dragged down that time. It was Minula Yaddehige. Ball still available though, and Trinity in their numbers. Manusha Kumarasinghe goes behind, and here's space opening up now. Altaf will show and give it in the end, and ThePapare will go over. ThePapare scores the first Amana Bank try of the first line out of the game.
A brilliant work from Trinity. And also his kicking prowess giving Trinity that large clearance from the back.
Apologies, he's wearing number 25, but we're told that Bilal Nazir was the try scorer who's listed in the number 11 jersey. Shan Altaf's first kick off the tee goes a little awry, so he'll have to get a few sighters. Didn't really have a lot of time for some warm-up kicking because the other game was on.
Was Antonians guilty of not clearing their lines, despite Trinity not finding touch from that early penalty. The exit wasn't great. They still gave possession to Trinity inside their own 22 and having to play with 5 points for it.
Altaf feels the kick and puts it almost into touch, but again that was Lianage who fielded.
Antony said again with the mistake they needed to retrieve. It's the new DuPont law being exiled from rugby. Some of the players still being a little lazy, Shanaka. It's very early in the game. You got to make sure that you try and get behind the kicker. You can't stand in one place and wait for the kicker to put you onside.
Well, not making the same mistake twice, Shan Altaf. Taking advantage of St. Anthony's not retreating. Got to make some sort of effort, even if it is a very slow walk. You have to retreat. You can't just stand there anymore. And referees will be very quick to blow that, especially in the first few minutes, to stamp their authority on the game.
Well, I think something the organizers would like to address is the fact that we absolutely interesting line out from Trinity this time. 2-man line out, confusing, absolutely confusing the opposition. Antonians did not know what they needed to do.
Well, I have barely see 2-man lineouts in Sevens rugby. This is the problem with Sevens players coaching 15s teams, isn't it, Sudarshan? What a mockery. 2-man lineouts. What will we see next?
Well, coming back to what I was mentioning, I think something that the organizers would like to take a look at is to try and have a couple of ball boys around the field. Even the previous game, we did have that delay with the balls coming in when it goes out of bounds.
First scrum of the game, and the Antonian number 8 looks excited. That's Gregory. The Trinity scrum. Remember, this is under 19 rules, so he can't push more than 1.5 meters. But nice ball, but off a standing start goes Lianage. Nice little run from the fly half. Show and go, and this is the first time the Trinity defensive line is being tested. Emmanuel clears it into the hands of Lianage once again. The big forward runner lays it back nicely. It's a quick ball, but coming through nicely that time was Trinity's number 28. She's not listed on the team sheet, so we will have to guess what his name is. Koditawakku, says Abid Jamil, who is the commentator's assistant today.
Coming from the sides, Trinitians guilty of not coming through the gate that time. Opportunity for the Antonians to try and get some quality possession in the opposition half, because in this opening 10 minutes territorially it has been Trinity who have dominated.
The 15-man game, I just don't understand that previous call, Sudarshana, that 2-man line out. Trinity find themselves having coughed that ball up after a good penalty and good touch kick. Gone back to a short one, but not two. And it's juggled a little bit, but St. Anthony's get it back. Lovely ball, and nice hands that time by the number 11 coming through, and it's Pereira with a stunning run straight into the 22, but unfortunately holds on to the ball. And the Antonians maybe being given a little bit of a tip by some further experienced players. That's a nice ball, beautifully handed off that time by Gunawardena to Pereira. Pereira cutting back, and Usman with the tackle.
It was Sean Altaf who went to jackal on to that ball. Referee having a word. Unfortunately, we do not hear, or our viewers are not able to hear the communication between the referee and the players. That would have added so much more clarity to what the exchanges are.
In a world, Sudarshana, where the referee's communication is now played on the PA system in international matches and even club matches where it's available, it's quite interesting that we don't even have it available on the broadcast. Shan Altaf and his would-be assailant told to keep it under wraps, gentlemen. And that's a wonderful kick by the fullback.
So yet again, Trinity turning things around. They do not have their skipper in the mix today. Usman nursing an injury, so it will be up to Nisit Kumarasinghe and Shan Altaf, who are the co-vice captains, to lead the side.
Bust up the middle by Satish Kumar, who's brought himself into the game strongly.
Well, if I were San Antonian, I wouldn't be trying to get on referees' bad books this early in this game. When a call is given, if you show reply, it's not going to be ideal. You've just conceded a penalty, and then again, when you concede another penalty, best bet would be to just walk away.
Yes, they've been getting the wrong end of the stick, so we'll be a little bit upset with the fact that they haven't managed to hold on to the ball. They can't let that frustration overflow in the direction of the referee, that's for sure. And that's where experience comes into play. Got to manage your relationship with the referee in every game you play. And Shan Altaf gets another opportunity off the tee. An easier kick than the last one. And from a kick of his prowess, you would expect nothing less. It's 8-0.
Will be important for Altaf because kicking does these kickers, when they get onto their groove, everything else they do becomes so much better as well. So Altaf managing to get the first one off the tee. An opportunity for Trinity now. Interesting kick-off strategy from the Antonians. They've opted to go deep.
And at that time it was Nisit Kumarasinghe who brought the ball up, and it was probably taken back, so Altaf can't put it into touch. And this is Gunawardena, who's actually playing in the fullback position, wearing the number 10 shirt. And once again, there's been an error in the kick chase. First it was St. Anthony's, and this time it's Trinity, who were probably in front of the kicker and advancing.
Yes, yet again, players not opting to retrieve. The Antonian skipper is going to have his hands full today. He'll be called up to do a lot of the work.
So Umita Dissanayake has actually moved to the fullback position, even though he is wearing number 10 on his back, and Lianage, wearing the 15 jersey, has moved to fly half. They will probably interchange during the game, but Trinity under pressure for the first time in the match. It's a decent line out, but didn't really bring him down with any expertise that time. Gunawardena found himself on the floor much quicker than he would have liked. And here's Umita Dissanayake. Hard running fullback, Antonian captain. Want to bring some respect back into those Antonian colours, of course, against their hometown rivals, their arch hometown rivals, I should say. And that's brilliant work over the ball once again from Trinity.
The penalties are killing both the teams.
Yes, it's been pretty stop-start so far.
Well, absolutely brilliant scenes, especially given the fact that we have multiple games on the same day. The viewers are very, very lucky. The Papare is operating and making sure all the games are brought to everybody around the world live as Trinity go wide.
Here is once again Yabdehige, but he's bundled into touch. And St. Anthony's are up for this game emotionally, Sudarshana. They just need to now change that into execution.
Absolutely, because being emotional and being fiery is brilliant, but you need to make sure that you channel it at the right end. Antonians, unfortunately, haven't been able to do that with ball in hand and have given it away.
Nice win at the top of the line out. And St. Anthony's looking to run this one. Good carry by Kodikara. And again, another penalty. You were saying, Sudarshana, about the fact that we are bringing all this action live to the living rooms of not only people in Sri Lanka, but old boys and well-wishers all around the world. Really immense effort from the Papare. Of course, their patrons Dialog in not only sponsoring this tournament, but making these broadcasts possible.
Well, never an easy thing, especially when it comes to all the technical aspects of bringing a game live. You can be testing your systems a trillion times, and half an hour before the broadcast, something is bound to go wrong, and the wonderful teams of Papare, the production and the technical crew, making sure all the action is captured and delivered to your living rooms.
Calling for it that time was Kingston. He takes it at the tail. St. Anthony is doing well with their own ball on the line out. can go, and yet another penalty conceded from Trinity this time, so the momentum has shifted a little bit.
Correct call from referee Arnashant at that time. Before going in for that tackle, he had his hands on the ground, didn't support his body weight, and the Antonians, with an opportunity to go for points, have opted to go to the line. They had 2 kickable penalties, third one this, and this is cynical, absolutely criminal by the Antonians, where Trinity is looking to clear anything that's coming in their red zone.
Disanayaka now, and he was met high and hard that time by Achinta Fernando. And he will definitely stay down, but have to see whether Achinta Fernando will get a yellow for that. Jayasena rather. It was pretty high. It was higher than it looked on the first instance.
Yes, I think Jayasena can be in trouble and has been sent to the bin. So Trinity will have to negotiate with 10 men on the field. It was Akash Fernando and Achintan Jayasena who went in for the tackle.
You're watching too much Liverpool, Sudarshana. It's 14 men.
Well, you can't blame me, Sanika, for watching a little too much Liverpool because we're going to win the league.
Yes, indeed. And Arsenal will finish second for about the 25th time in my lifetime. But that's okay. Back to matters at hand. St. Anthony's having another line out. What can they do with this? They've had plenty of possession, just haven't been able to turn it into points as Kingston takes this at the back of the line out. They managed to get a little drive on, and now they keep going. It gets taken to ground, and Trinity have managed to come away with the ball, but there's no way they could have smuggled that out of the mall legally. And yes, referee Arunashanta quite correctly saying that that ball was that maul was pulled down, taken quickly. Trinity were expecting that to go into touch.
Antonian forwards wanted to keep it close. They're going to test the defensive prowess of the Trinitians. Trinity have been decent so far in their defensive effort, but referee playing advantage in favor of the double blues.
Straight over the ball that time. He was fine. Was the number 5 for Trinity, Akash Fernando. But the advantage.
Referee Arnashanta wanted to make sure that there is welfare check on Emmanuel.
Yes, he did carry into the forward pack with a degree of intent. And came off second best, as scrum halves do when they carry into the forward pack. But Emmanuel looks like he's not going to be budged if he can help it, but referee Dr. Namit Sankalpana will make sure he does all the possible initial tests to ensure that player safety is of vital importance, and he will not allow him to continue if he feels that there's any reason he can't. But I think Dr. Sankalpana has said that Emmanuel is okay to continue.
Yes, absolutely. And in the under-19 setup and also in the community games of rugby, there is no HIA. It's actually recognized and removed. If you see that the player is under duress, the referee has the right to remove the player where the blue card comes out. Going to be an interesting one here. Scrum called by the Antonians. They're trying everything. They want to make sure that they get that 5 points break the ice, and then capitalize from there on.
Well, Trinity would have had to send a flanker to the bin, but I think they have somebody who can deputize at prop. So they're one man short, and Gregory will have to move out of the scrum because it's under 19 rules again, and the scrums needs to be evenly matched. So no number 8 for either team.
So Shrayan Satish Kumar played as a front rower entirety of last season, although he's moved to number 8 this season, so he's no slouch when it comes to scrummaging. Nisit Kumarasinghe playing as the hooker alongside Silva.
And goes to the short side, does Emmanuel, just can't get the ball away. Outstanding tackle coming in from the wing 3/4 on that short side. St. Anthony still holding on to the ball though. Here's a big prop. It's slow going, but still manages to drop it backwards, and Trinity have pounced on it. Really good defense from the Trinitians that time. At first read off the scrum made all the difference in shutting that move down, and Altaf's kick fielded by the Antonian skipper. The first tackle is missed, and he has a little bit of space opening up. Leaves the ball and gets back onto his feet and breaks free. Momita Disanayake just brought down inches short of the line, and he's knocked the ball on. Oh dear, oh dear. Hearts were in the mouth for a moment there.
Oh, would have been an absolutely brilliant score if Momita managed to keep ball in hand, did all the hard work, but in the corner, just losing control of the ball. Some brilliant work from the Antonian skipper, and that is the kind of spark the Maroon Double Blues are looking for in this game. They need something that they can rally around. Opportunity for Trinity. Shan Altaf now a couple of times deep inside his own half. His own in-goal line rather. Haven't been able to find touch. He's gone for distance.
Running this one forward was Kevin Virakon, just to give Altaf a little bit more angle to work with. And that's a wonderful touch kick.
It's this time Altaf managing to find touch just short of the 50-meter mark. So the Antonians will have to come back all 40 meters that they've worked so very hard. Trinity making a substitution early.
Looks like Kevin might have lost a tooth there. Kevin Virakon needs to go off.
Yeah, Virakon wants to continue, but referee will have none of it. Blood pin injuries, need to get it tended to.
Can't imagine that players at this level are playing without mouth guards.
It's something I've been very vocal about, Shanaka, and it can cut out 80% chance of you getting concussed as well.
Anthony is winning another line out at the back. Kingston has been good. Here's Lakmina coming off his wing, but that time Trinity were alive to the defensive threat, and that ball was knocked forward, but it's advantage. So referee Arunashanta will play on.
Malik to the corner. Seemed like he lost his footing. The Trinity winger.
Bit of an uneven ground there. Sudarshan, oh, what a beautiful step from the prop forward, Manusha Silva. What an outstanding run. Oh my goodness, this is going to be probably the best try scored by a loose head prop in the history of rugby. What a stunning run from Manusha Silva.
Well, what about that for Amana Bank try? And that one will hurt for the Antonians. When you see a prop running across like that, although he's playing prop this season and in this particular game, Shanaka, a third row and a lock, you can see his lanky movements. Take a look at this, a step, and everybody gets foxed. Had the pace to back it up as well. Long limbs. And Omita Disanayake completely misjudging him because man to man, I would believe Omita would have been a little more faster than Manusha. But Trinity College getting that score, and this would have really disheartened the Antonians.
Wow, that was an outstanding run. Really was. And Shan Altaf has found his bearings and knocks Trinity into a 13 points to nil lead. A 15 points to nil lead.
Well, that kind of score really shakes you up, isn't it? As a defensive outfit, Sanaka, everybody will be looking over their shoulders because they know they can't blame the other person because there was a big man who ran through you. Lianage with the restart yet again, going deep into the 22 meters. Kumarasinghe to Satish Kumar. Shryan says, I can do that better.
Well, Satish Kumar probably saw that try and realized if he's got to keep the number 8 jersey, he's got to do something. And again, it's good defensive work from St. Anthony's, but nothing's going right for them on the attacking end. Trying to run it back. But again, the ball is really slow, and Trinity are piling up the close in defense. Haven't seen a box kick yet from Lianage, which is what we do now. Altaf opts to let the ball bounce. And thinks about running, but in the end decides that discretion is the better part of valor, as Omita Disanayake has no option but to counter. 15-0 down with half an hour gone. St. Anthony's have to start throwing caution to the winds. Lianage, it's a good ball off the face, across the face, but nobody wants to run onto it. Lakmina doing well to stay in the field of play. The Antonians have a big line, but need to hold on to the ball, and that time it was Laman who dropped it straight into the hands of the Trinity attackers. Lovely offload, and again it's Manusha Silva, and this time it's Udan Veerakun who profits as nobody behind the ruck, and Udan Veerakun hurdles his way under the posts, and Trinity College get another try, another Amana Bank try.
Brilliant stuff from Udan Veerakun, who saw that there was nobody at the base. Manusha Silva doing the hard yards, sucking in 3 defenders. Good clearance work from Trinity. It was the number 22 who came in and did that very good work. Believe that was Chaya Sena, which paved the way for that Amana Bank try. Shanaka, everybody needed to contribute and make sure. And Trinity are backing themselves up now, face after face. But I think the dominance can be credited to their superior defensive effort so far. They've made life so very hard for the Antonians with ball in hand, which have drawn out the mistakes from the Antonians.
Well, they sucked the life out of the Antonian attacking outfit and also sapped the confidence, Sudarshan. And that's what they've really done by hitting St. Anthony's behind the gain line. And as much as they've tried, they've had some good ball. They've tried to do some things. They've gone over the gain line a couple of times, but just have had no joy to show for it. And it looks like Emmanuel's night might be over. Had a bit of a check on him a little while ago, and given that it's only the round of 16 stage and he's your first choice scrum half, I think Salia Kumara would do well to take him off, especially as things are not looking great for them in this game.
Yes, absolutely. I think if that decision is left for Coach Sali to take, because Dr. Sankalpan is going to be very strict this time around, because within the span of 10 minutes, it's the second time he's been called to check up on this young lad who's trying his level best to try and showcase that he's all right. There's his balance on a foot is okay.
Well, that was impressive. I don't think I can do that, and I'm not even concussed. Balancing on one leg with your eyes closed, it's. I urge everyone to try that at the halftime break, see how difficult it is. And even with a couple of blows to the head, Emmanuel managed to pass that test. And
well, coming from a yogi like Shanaka, if it's going to be difficult for you, I'm not even going to try.
Well, it's one thing to stand on one leg with your eyes open, Sudarshana, but with your eyes closed, it's a different kettle of fish altogether. But looks like the lad is determined to continue. And it's good to see that level of heart, but also the heart from the player is one thing, but the head from the coaching staff as well as the referee. The blue card has been shown, and even though he looked like he could continue, I think referee Arunasantha has put player welfare at the top of his list of concerns, and Emmanuel will go to the bench.
Yes, you got to back up the expert advice of Dr. Namit Sankalpana, who's seen incidents of this nature at the highest level of the game. As Sean Altaf duly complies and adds 2 more points, 22 points to nil. Trinity College really arresting this game in this opening half an hour of this game. Just under 3 minutes to go in the first half, and they've really put a hex on the Antonians.
You've got to feel for the lad. He's given it everything. Was the man that brought down Manusha Silva there in the lead up to the final try, and obviously coming off second best in that challenge as well. Again, Lianage thumps it as deep as you like. Has been kicking straight to Shan Altaf, all these kickoffs.
Precarious, isn't it, Shanika? Because you know Trinity will try to exit inside the 22, and Shan Altaf is the preferred kicker. If you keep kicking to him, he's going to say thank you very much, because the deep kicks are not yielding for the Antonians. I would believe they will have a plan B where they'll try to get their runners onto the ball. Line outs is an area Antonians have done well so far in this game.
Kingston is the target that time, and he does well even with his outside arm to win that ball. Kodikara is a big man in the number 12 jersey. They haven't really had an opportunity to use him enough. Quick ball that time. Here's the big number 4, Netsara. Getting a few phases together for the first time in this half, really. St. Anthony's not rolling away is the call, and the Antonians will want to go to touch.
The man who had to roll away the tackler really would have been given half a second more by the referee if there wasn't a tackler who was trying to rip that ball away. But opportunity for the Antonians, and they would kick themselves for not taking points when they were afforded earlier, Shanika, because 9 points to 22 would have read so much better than 22 points to nil.
Absolutely, Sudarshan, especially in knockout rugby. It's not a league rugby where you get a bonus point, a losing bonus point, or 4-try bonus point. This is one and done, so you've got to make sure you stay in touch and always give yourself a chance of having just a 1-score margin. Kingston again at the back of the line out. No contest from Trinity that time, but the referee saying that it was crooked, but not sure there was a contest there.
Interesting, because that's another change, rule change that is in effect. So Trinity needed to put a man up to make sure that they get that call. However, opportunity for the Trinitians to try and get out of their red zone. Trinity now restored to their original number of 15.
Big bust up the middle there, just to give Shah Altaf a little bit more space. Again, he threads it down the touchline. St. Anthony's will have no option but to run this one back. Nice run that time by Gunawardena. Amazing his way through the Trinity defense. It's a nice ball and well shunted on as well. Nice step back in field. Pereira, the number 13, had plenty of running today, and here's Lianage. Thinks about the back of the hand offload, but holds on in the end. Lakmina deputizing at scrum half. Here's Ekanayaka. Nice shift from Abekun, but a superb hit coming in from the short side. And Shah Altaf puts the little kick in, but unfortunately it's left behind by Gunawardena. Now it's available. Vijay Kun goes short side. Altaf takes it towards the 22. Here it is. Once again for the big prop forward. Achinintha, fresh from his stint in the naughty chair. And unfortunately that pass is not accurate, and Abdul Malik has to leave it behind. Referee says that will be half time.
I believe that pass was not meant for Malik, over outrunning that ball and reaching out. But referee Arunashanta decides there is enough time for one more play.
Well, a couple of defensive reads in this first half, Sudarshan, from Trinity's outside backs have really made the difference, where it looked like St. Anthony's were building up to something that they might have space, but two superb hits blindsiding the ball carriers have really made the difference in their defensive efforts. 1.5 meter shove is all that they can do. And Lianage from outside is 22. Shah Altaf runs onto that nicely, puts in the fend. He's got players inside him and just can't get it away. Playing advantage, but unfortunately Sadish Veeravansa cannot get on the end of that ball. Lovely run from the fullback, ghosting his way down the touchline, but looks like there might have been a high tackle in there.
High shot penalty in favor of Trinity College. Just when you thought it would be done, referee Anushanta deciding that there were in fact a couple of stoppages where the players had to get checked by the doctor. So a couple of more minutes remaining. Might not be very happy news if you are a maroon double blue fan, but if you are a red gold blue one, you'll be very happy to see that Trinity are just 5 meters out from the opposition try line.
The final act of the first half, certainly. Onija Koditowakuru throw in. St. Anthony's will try to disrupt this line out. But again, another stoppage. The game has become a little bit more fluent after that initial 10 minutes of penalties, Sudarshana.
Yes, it's become more fluid, and which the crowd and also the players would be very appreciative of, because stop-start affairs are never fun. Interesting throwing technique by the hooker just before he loads up. This time goes to number 6. Beautifully set up by Trinity College, and in goes number 4 for Trinity. Was that Akash? No.
It's Hamza Abdeen who goes over for the try. Sorry, it's Evin Jayasena. The numbers on the Trinity shirts are not corresponding to the team sheet we have. Evin Jayasena is the man who went over there for that try. And another Amana Bank try for Trinity College.
Well, punch after punch after punch. 4 tries now for Trinity. The forwards getting one through their line-outs. Back to capacity here at the London place. Doesn't feel like both these teams are playing away from home. As Sean Altaf yet again threads this post to add in the extras. 29 points to 0. Dominant performance in this first exchange of the game, and to our surprise, there is plenty more time, says referee Arunashanta.
Well, there was a lot of checking, especially on Emmanuel. Both those stoppages were quite long, and he does well on the floor there. Evin Jayasena to manage to wrestle the ball down to the floor. Otherwise, might have been held up.
Jayasena, son of Kavinda Jayasena, former Trinity coach, played for Havelocks and also Sri Lanka as well. One rare mistake in fielding the kickoffs brings us to the end of the first half of this pre-quarter final encounter. Trinity in control. 29 points to 0 is the score at half time, and Antonians will have a lot of thinking to do.
They certainly will. They've tried manfully, but just haven't been able to get that last pass to stick. And it has been a day of what might have been for St. Anthony's in that first half. Trinity also comfortably leading despite not impressing as much as they would. Some individual work from some of their players, but they will want to get a good win under their belt and prepare for what will most likely be a test, a precursor to the Cananaris Tuseram Trophy against their long-time rivals, St. Thomas's. We'll be back after the break.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get. Spray. Go.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා. නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
There is a rhythm to island life, where a walk is a dance, where there is work-life flexibility, where fun is serious, and where songs rise out of the sea. The unique and amazing facets of island living inspire us.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හික්කක සිත බැන්දා මාතේ ෆයිවල් ෆැෂන් දෙපේ හික්කක බතේ වටේ හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාන් තමයි.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි. නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චෞමරි අක්කා.
පිටියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා. නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චෞමරි අක්කා.
පිටියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා. ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා. නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හික්කක සිත බැන්දා මාතේ ෆයිවල් ෆැෂන් දෙපේ
හික්කක බතේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාන් තමයි.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Welcome back to live pictures from the CRNFC ground at Longton Place, where Trinity College are technically, at least, hosting St. Anthony's in this round of 16 contest in the Dialog Schools Knockout Trophy, being played for the first time before the Dialog Schools League to ensure the participation of all teams. And also just to give a sighter for the teams and coaches. Here are the highlights from the first half. Shan Altaf with a little try assist. And going over was Bilal Nazir for the first try of the game. Altaf with a penalty later on to put Trinity 8-0 up. And then this wonderful run for Manusha Silva in the loose head props #1 jersey. But running like Adi Savea would be proud of. And sitting up for a nice little picture as well, Manusha. That try was converted. And Manusha had a hand in the next try that Trinity scored as well. Great clear out, and right through the parted Red Sea went Udan Vijayakon. There's absolutely nobody at the back for St. Anthony's. And that was the last play of the half with this line out, and it was Evin Jayasena who went over. Now we're back live. Second half action. St. Anthony's with a lot to do still to get on the board against his Trinity team, whose defense has been excellent so far, really managing to catch St. Anthony's behind the gain line and shut down any sort of threat they might have to offer.
Not a clean collection by the Antonians, not ideal for them. They would have expected for a better start.
Pereira has been in the wars in this game. He's been doing a lot of tackling as well as a fair bit of ball carrying, as Lianage gets a good thump on this, and a little bit of a miscommunication, but no damage done between the two wingers on that side of the field. Bilal Nazir. And here's Shan Altaf moving into the first receiver position that time. And Achinintha Jayasena was the man who carried that forward. But again, after Emmanuel was taken off for a blue card, the starting scrum half for St. Anthony's has another man down, and it doesn't look good for the Antonians.
Yeah, not ideal, isn't it, for the Antonians, especially given the fact that this is their first hit out of the season. It's going to be very important that you manage the players. The incident was earlier. Here, Trinity were looking to build the faces and go on the attack, but referee Arnashanta being alerted of the player who was on the ground by referee Yatavar, I think, on the far touch line. Stretched off, stretcher coming out, never a good sign. Shanaka, we really do hope that it's not as bad as it looks for the Antonian player.
Yes, I certainly hope it's just precautionary, and it's terrible to see in the first game of the season, isn't it, Sudarshana? So much preparation has gone in, so much hard work, and sometimes you just can't avoid these knocks. Trinity will have to make sure that the momentum doesn't fade. They've just had a long break, and it's another one immediately afterwards.
Well, going to be an interesting to find out how the halftime chats would have been of the both camps. For Antonians, we know Coach Alia would have told them to try and hold on to possession, make sure, despite Trinity pushing them behind their gain line, if they can build the faces. And we did see that when Antonians do build the faces, they do look threatening, with some good backs moves coming in. For the Trinitians, I believe Fazil Marija would have said, keep up the intensity, make sure that you don't take the foot off the pedal, because we've seen a lot of times when teams get comfortable, there can be, the opposition can really turn one against you.
They certainly can. And that's what Trinity have to guard against getting complacent. And while we wait for the medical staff to do their job, it's been 8 wonderful games here in this round of 16 competition in the Dialog Schools Knockout Tournament. And the Papare managing to bring you all of those 8 games live, right into the comfort of your living rooms. But it's also still good to see that there's been a packed house here. All 4 teams bringing their supporters, and none of them going home from the first game either. Sudarshan is staying on to watch what their opponents are going to look like.
It's beauty of school rugby, isn't it? That's the intensity and the passion that you support teams with. It's brilliant to see packed stadiums, backing the boys, enjoying the rugby. And we earnestly request all the rugby fans to back the national Tuskers as well as they prepare for a historic tour, the Under-85 New Zealand Rugby Tour, who will come down to play 2 games, which should be an exciting precursor for the Asia Emirates Rugby Championship.
Certainly will be excellent preparation for the national team. Sudarshan, the last time a New Zealand team played a competitive game here, it was in 1907, I believe, and it was the All Blacks against the Ceylon team. But this is the New Zealand Under-85, and for those of you who have been living under a rock, it's not under 85 years, it's under 85 kilograms. So that will be the New Zealand team, under 85 kilo team, that will play the Sri Lanka side, and that will be a massive test for the local lads who played brilliantly against Malaysia to win that one very comfortably. And hats off to Dialog also for noticing that schools rugby really is one of the most popular sports in the country, not just in Colombo and Kandy, but around everywhere, and everyone's aspiring to be in the A division. Lots of teams coming through. It's been an ever-expanding league, and we're very grateful to the Papare and Dialog for allowing those games right into the comfort of our homes. As we see the Antonian player stretchered off, good to see him being clapped off by the entire crowd. The traditions of rugby are not completely dead. Best wishes to the lad, and hope he makes a very quick recovery.
Yes, being stretchered off is never a good sign, never a good sight to see in the rugby field. And it's one of those contact sports, isn't it, Chanaka, where you go at each other for 70 or 80 minutes, and soon after you are the best of mates, understanding the passion and the grit you bring into playing the game. And if you have a big competitor, chances are you have the biggest respect for that competitor.
Certainly do, Sudarshana, as Malik runs onto that ball. Altaf into the line. The defense from St. Anthony's is ferocious. Being told that they need to tackle, but they missed a memo that time. Not sure that clean out was legal, as it went well beyond the ruck, but here's a little bit of space opening up for Veerawangsa. Sadisha into the game because his captain has been injured, and St. Anthony is now spotting a little bit of space at the back. Omita Disanaika did well to thump it forward, but Altaf does equally well to get back and may think of having a run, but decides that he will opt for the safety of the touchline.
Had the opportunity of kicking the ball out on the full, given that he collected it and opted to kick inside the 22 meters as well. Antonians trying everything. Needs that one spark to make them believe.
Antonians have done well in the line out, not as well in the scrum, but it's a quick ball from number 2, Lianage Kodikara. Nicely taken that time by Pereira, who has really taken it to this Trinity line. Coming in as a replacement is Samarasinghe for Emmanuel, and he's at the base now, but service is a little slower than it was with the first choice. Pereira now goes in and does the job at the scrum half as well. It's available for St. Anthony's, who managed to string together a few phases in this half, but as I say that it's been dropped, and the Trinity defense has come up trumps once again. Been patient, not conceded the penalty, and nice hands that time. Excellent work by Yaddehige. Superb stuff from the winger. So much strength to stay strong in the tackle, and the first Amana Bank try of the second half goes to Minula Yaddehige.
Yaddehige looked like he was running into the defenders, but a big no argue, getting him that extra meter or two where he wanted to accelerate away from the defenders. Brilliant hands from the forwards who had joined the line. That was Hamza Riza in the number 7 jersey. And Yaddehige touching down for the 5th Amana Bank try for Trinity College. 34 points to 0. Now it's looking like a matter of how bigger of a score Trinity is going to try and win this one with. But I think the memo would have been passed to Trinity would be to make sure that they keep a clean sheet here, Shanaka, because that's the aspect that they will keep focusing on. And there's a good chance that Coach Marija might opt to go to his bench a little earlier than he would have planned, as Sean Altaf adds 2 more to his score.
Well, it's a great score, 36-0. But in terms of cohesion, though, Sudarshana, if you are to really want to nitpick this, St. Thomas has scored 60 points, but they scored it as a team. They managed to send the ball through the hands quite a bit and managed to string together quite a few phases. But for Trinity, it has been more individual brilliance that has come to bear, which is something that they will want to maybe change a little bit, make sure that they bring everyone into the game and create a few more plays. As Lianage dances around on the halfway mark. He's teamed as well to get back to support him now. But again, Ekanayake is caught well behind the gain line, and you can see the rush defense that Fazil Marija used so well with Kandy Sports Club is working for Trinity as well.
Akash Fernando that time managing to bear hug the ball carrier.
That's not an accurate pass once again. And it was Ratnayaka who was caught well behind the gain line, conceding the penalty. Altaf will have no hesitation going for the corner here.
Or didn't get the connection right. Altaf. So it'll be opportunity. These are what you call coach killers, isn't it, Shanaka? No pressure. Absolute no pressure, and you are expected to execute it.
Well, I'm sure Fazil Marija will be quite happy if he makes those mistakes now and learns from them in the round of 16 stage rather than maybe in the semi-final or final, where you're not ahead by 36 points to 0. So if there's ever a time that you're going to miscue that kick, this is it. You can see the ferocity of the hit there from the Trinity College forwards, in that even though you can't shove, it does a lot to demoralize the opposition. You can see again how quickly that defensive line is up. Kevin Virakon and Bilal Nazir really flying up in defense. And as a result, they're winning yet another penalty. So they have managed to force so many errors from this Antonian team.
It has been a problem for the Antonians, the fact that the frustration that has built in, not being able to try and cross that gain line. They've tried different stuff, but the superior defensive work by Trinity really putting them under a lot of pressure. Opportunity now for the Trinity forwards to try and string in a set player more. They'd like to see how they advance from a set piece here, Shanika, because they engage in that scrum, like you said, was absolutely brilliant. This time, changing direction, changing hands on the ball, no problem. And Hamza will touch down. Hamza Abdin for another Mana Bank try for Trinity College. Just like that, Trinity move into the 40s, 41 points to nil with the conversion to come.
Well, that's the kind of try I was talking about, Sudarshan. That will make their coaches very happy. Lasita Attanagoda, they just peeled off the back, changed the point of attack in the maul, and it was done very smoothly, it was done fluently, and that's the kind of try that will start to trouble Anuranga Balpola and the Thomian coaching staff.
Spiraj Prasanta alongside Lasita Attanagoda has done a lot of work with the Trinity forwards, and they'll be very happy to see the young contingent duly complying and making sure what they tried and tested at the training pitch and executing it to perfection here at the game. Shan Altaf yet again delivers and increases the score line to 43 points. Never the one to celebrate much, isn't it, Shanika? It's a very good head on his shoulders, the young lad. Can play one more year in the red, gold, blue colors.
Well, you have to say that anything he does from now on is probably going to have to be pretty special to match up with his moment from last year. As Lianage kicks off. Nicely taken by Abdi in that time. Vijay Kun. And Altaf takes it at second receiver to clear. And that's not a good pass at all. Comes off the foot, so the referee will play on. And no, it doesn't. It comes off the hand, so they will go back for that try. For the knock-on, rather.
Well, things turning out from bad to worse for the Antonians. Nothing going their way. Bad enough you've gotten a drubbing from your hometown rivals. And things are not going your way. It's really difficult to try and pull yourself out from that hole, isn't it, Chanaka? What you need now is the leaders to put their hands up and say, come on, lads. We may not be winning this game, but then we'll play for pride. We'll play for the colours that we are repping here.
So that's where I feel Trinity need to be a little bit more accurate, and they'll need to start working on that. Pass from Abdul Malik over the head, and again another ball spilled forward. So this is where I feel that even though defensively Science College exploited quite a few gaps, the 43-0 scoreline might be a little flattering for what Trinity have shown on the attacking end. St. Anthony's will be disappointed if they can't even get a try on the board. They really have to make sure they trouble the scorers in this match. Remember that Isipathan have already signaled their intentions with a 61-0 drubbing of Sri Sumangala.
Thomas, yesterday's games were also pretty exciting. Wesley putting their hand up in the early exchanges, and TS Nanaika College, after a fierce battle against the Rajans, showcasing what they are capable of as well, have secured qualification to the quarters. Today is Zahira, Isipatana, and St. Thomas's, and by the looks of it, Trinity very comfortably booking their place.
Also shows the gulf between the teams in this pre-quarterfinal stage. But once the teams separate themselves in the league competition after the first round, things will get much more competitive. And once we move into the quarterfinal rounds itself, the intensity will go up a notch, as Shan Altaf looks like he's alternating between fullback and first receiver here in the second half. Good defensive read that time by Inshaf.
He's coming fresh off the bench. Inshaf that time was absolutely on spot, and Rizal Thomas will not want to take a look at that first touch from the bench. Spills it like a wet bar of soap.
Yes, these little errors that the Trinitians will need to make sure they eliminate. The front row has seen 2 replacements. Rizal Thomas has come on. And there's been a change as both starting props have gone off. So a deserved rest for Manusha Silva and Achinta Jayasena. And Rizal Thomas is joined by Dimal Tilakratna in the front row. A rare penalty won by St. Anthony's that time, and what seems like the umpteenth time they will go for touch and try off the line out.
Yeah, it's troubling, isn't it, Chanaka? Because the lineouts have worked perfectly well for the Antonians. Most times they're not. That's the point where trouble starts, and trouble starts to spill over for most of the teams. But Antonians have managed to get the lineouts right. But from there on, the continuity has been what has put them under a lot of pressure.
Yes, it has been poor. There have been some good first phase backline moves, but they haven't really had enough quality ball for that to work. And it's another complicated but excellent line-out move, well executed that time. Just can't get it to move, and once again
lost it forward. After all the very good work that they've done, they've just lost it forward, the Antonians. Nothing going right their way. The Maroon Double Bluers wanted to make sure that they put pressure on Trinity and break that massive run of defeats since 2010 to their hometown rivals. But seems like they will have to work really hard to try and cross the line.
Certainly will. And seems like it's a team that will improve as the season goes on. And, Trinity with their second choice front row just getting beaten back a little bit there. And Shan Altaf opting for the long clearance, and Momita Disanaika, who we've not seen in the game for the last few minutes. And here's the man who has been a little bit troublesome for the Trinity defense, Lakmina. Beautiful work on the ball there. The turnovers have been excellent that time. It's Kevin Virakun again, who's playing like a third rower.
Absolutely brilliant stuff from Virakun. Showed the referee plenty time that he had all the right to the ball and going straight at the ball. Antonians guilty of not supporting the man who's done a lot of work, Lakmina. He's been the lone shining star in that Antonian jersey, who's tried to continue hitting at Trinity. Opportunity now again for Trinity to try and execute one of those set plays where they get everybody into motion. Something that they will be happy about is the fact that they've managed to get extended time for their finishers to come in and play. The props normally would come in at the 50-minute mark to try and finish off the game. But here they've gotten the opportunity to come in a little early. Very well set line out. Satish Kumar still going strong in that number 8 jersey, Ridma now.
Ball available for Trinity, and they've gone wide this time. Altaf. Here's Malik. This is better from Trinity. Phases coming together, but again a dropped ball. And Yaddahige loses it in the tackle. But nice bit of work that time from the replacement, Ishara Premachandra. And again the ball is behind the man. Yaddahige trying to see whether he can weave a little bit more magic.
This tackler had all the right to the ball, but the tackler needed to roll away from there. Malik couple of the times guilty of throwing the ball to no man. Shanaka trying to be a little overeager. Number 10 jersey is a big responsibility on any young lad coming through. Abdul Malik had been entrusted that and preferred over Sean Altaf.
Well, those are never as bad as they look, Sudarshana. The head is somewhere you bleed from pretty profusely, especially when your heart is racing and your circulation is pumping. So,
especially in this humidity as well.
Absolutely. It's not nearly as serious. Just a bit of claret that will get wiped off. Maybe a couple of stitches and he'll be back in no time. Will Ratnayaka. But Fazil Marija always knows that he has Shan Altaf in that position. If he ever needs to move him back to number 10, it's a position that he can move into almost seamlessly. And so he will want to try another fly half just to make sure that things go well. And he has a replacement in case there is an injury.
This also gives you the option, isn't it? And like we've seen a couple of the times, they've tried the double pivot where Shan Altaf keeps interchanging with Malik. That's going to be exciting because that way you get a two-pronged attack coming into motion as well. Now opportunity for the Trinity forwards yet again to try and create something. Opting to go with the full complement. 7 men in the line out. The assistant referee, though, not very happy with the tunnel, the distance between the two props.
Another inelegant line out, but Trinity have got the driving maul going, and this time it looks like they've broken away. But Trinity not able to get themselves over the line. St. Anthony is alive to the threat from the back of that maul. He's not obliged to get out of the way because it was a maul. But Trinity now have the ball from the back. It will be pick and go time for the forwards. Vijay Kun. And that's a nice wriggle over by Yaddahige. In fact, It is Yaddehige who managed to somehow find his way over the line.
Referee out of Shanta wanting to check with his assistant referee. Yep, no problem there for Yaddehige, who finds space from the side of the cushion.
It was nice work that time by Abdul Malik, who took the ball to the line. And it's nice to see him do that because he stands up the defenders then, not just shoveling it on from a standing start. So Yaddehige had plenty of space when he came from behind the decoy runner. So that was a really well constructed try. Altaf putting it high into the stands and getting tripped up by his water carrier for his efforts. So bear in mind that Trinity are doing this all without their captain. Sudarshana, who would have trained in his position, so they would have had to make a last-minute switch.
Absolutely, a midfield at that never easy, marshalling your defensive effort when your skipper, who's in the midfield, is not in the mix, but they've done wonderfully well.
It's another kickoff that they'd let bounce, and kicking from almost a dead ball line that time.
Well, interesting one that since they did want to try and let it bounce, would have been ideal to see it through to the deadline. But now they've given away a penalty because there has been a person who's charged from in front of the kicker.
Totally avoidable penalties. Trinity have given away 2, St. Anthony's 1 for not retiring when they're in front of the ball, and Lianage takes it. Short tap when he looked like he was all set to go for touch. Just a little bit of deception by the Antonian fly half. Here it is again, the read that time. It's not as accurate by the Trinity defense, and Pereira holds on to the ball. It's been easily the best backline player for St. Anthony's so far. It's a big lad coming off the bench, that's Sena Ratna. Pick and go from the Antonians. Bit far out to continue doing this though, but that was a good gain. Nicely through the gap on the loop. Nicely done that time by Samarasinghe. The little scrum half showing that he goes through a gap. Good defense once again by the fringe defense of Trinity, and that time St. Anthony is over and they get that try. They deserve it, Sudarshana. They've worked really hard and finally got their reward after an hour of play.
Oh, absolutely. Kudos to the Antonians because they've never stopped trying. Sena Ratna, the man from the bench, getting the Amana Bank try for the Antonians. Trinity will not be too pleased because it was a totally avoidable penalty. But again, I think if we can take a look at that replay one more time, the gap was opened up because a Trinity defender unnecessarily wanted to charge into that ruck. He would have done very well to try and be on the outside, be that guard dog. Conversion just outside the uprights, so the score will remain 5 points, 50 points to 5, Shanaka, as we move into the last 10 minutes of the game. It's that kind of game where it becomes very, very difficult to pick a player of the match, isn't it?
Certainly does, especially because most of the players have gone off pretty early. So have to look at the players who are on the pitch. and have played for maybe longer than a half. Still 8 minutes to go for someone to make a standout performance. Oh, another error from the kickoff, and it's a penalty. The ball was knocked on, and Lakmina played it from well in front of his teammate who knocked the ball on. And that's a little bit of a dart from the scrum half. Rhythm. In fact, it's Avishka Jayasekara who's taken that quick tap and darted over in George Gregan style, Sudarshana.
Brilliant, isn't it? The young lad has close to 3 more years in Trinity colours. Massive brain fade that time from the Antonians. The player in front catching that ball, clearly knowing that it was lost forward.
But he had very little option, to be fair to Lakmina. And here's Jayasekara. Looks at his captain. No, he doesn't even look at his captain. Just takes the tap and dances through about 6 big forwards in the fading moments of the game.
Well, you're trying to be too nice, isn't it, Chanaka? Whenever did scrum halves, when they had the ball, when a penalty is awarded, look at their captains. if he wasn't the captain, even when they are the captain, there needs to be somebody who restrains them and says, mate, let's go for points.
Absolutely. Avishka Jayasekara showing the instinct that scrum halves have in their positions. It's what makes them who they are. As Lianage kicks off for after ages, and there was a little bit of a mishap there in the lift, and Ramindu Premachandra came down pretty hard. Nice run that time by Bimal, but that time St. Anthony's looked like they had managed to snuffle the ball back, but not without it being knocked on. So another scrum in favour of Trinity, and we'll see out the last 5 minutes of this game.
Shanak, I think now the production team is on our case, where we need to try and discuss and decide on how our player of the match is going to be for that impressive run where he weaved a web through the defenders. Manusha Silva would be one of the contenders, I think, who really have put his hand up. Also been impressed with the work rate of Evin Jayasena in the early exchanges, despite him leaving the game early in the second half.
Yes, both those guys have been really good as St. Anthony's bring it back into the opposition half. Absolutely no space to move for Lianage there, and he still did manage to try and get the kick away. You can see that the fatigue is really setting into both sets of players.
Another nominee from the Trinity side would be Yadehege, who went in for 2 Amana Bank tries. Shrayan Satish Kumar, who's still on the field doing some very good work as well. So a couple of names from the Trinity camp, and for the Antonians, I believe the lone warrior has been Lakmina in that number 11 jersey, who's done a lot of good work.
Lakmina, and I feel Pereira in the number 13 jersey also has put his body on the line, although it has been to no avail. Difficult to pick a man of the match from Trinity, because there has been a patchy performance from them. But Hige has done a bit of work around the park and has excelled defensively as well, Sudarshana, and his 2 tries came at important moments in the game, especially the first one.
Yes, I do agree, and I would also love to try and propose Hige as the player of the match, especially again, like you mentioned, to keep Lakmin on the reps. He has been impressive when it comes to his defensive effort. Despite being a very lanky lad, he's come right up and he's showcased his defensive capabilities, something that we don't see very often from the wingers. So I am also going to agree with you and going to side with Hige.
Trinity's midfield also has been very good, but in a 15-horse race, Minuli Hige just edges out his teammates by a whisker. Lienege given a pass with absolutely no options available to him. Samarasinghe screaming for his forwards to form a pod. And again, the turnover is excellent. Brilliant work from Satish Kumar, who I think is unlucky to miss out on the man of the match performance. But Hige gets his hat-trick. But no, there's been a knock-on. So although he dotted down, there's no try. No, the referee does say there is a try. The ball went back. And just after he's been awarded the man of the match, he picks up his hat-trick.
Well, some of the crowd is now getting impatient. Rhythm back of the hand. And Hige says, thank you very much. Touches down for the hat-trick, reaffirming our choice of player of the match who collects a hat-trick. Stones would have been pelted if we did not award the man who ran in 3. It's going to be a long, hard ride for all the Antonians, but the Trinitians will also have a think about a lot of the stuff, because the fluency that they would have preferred to have in this game was not there.
Yes, it has been a stop-start game. What they will be happy about is their work over the ball at the breakdown. Satish Kumar and the rest of the third row being very good there, as was Kevin Virakon. So showing some superiority at breakdown time, which is something that will augur well for them in the upcoming quarterfinal against the Thomians. But what really has shone, not so much their attack, despite the fact that they run up 62 points, is their defense. They have been absolutely excellent, flying up and making their tackles count, reading the wraparound plays very well. And that one is an off spinner, the touch line, and looks like referee Arunashanta has had enough. 62 points to 5 is how it finishes, and Trinity College booked their place in the quarterfinals of the Dialog Schools Knockout Championship against their Anglican rivals, Trinity St. Thomas's College. And that will be a match that will happen next weekend. And it's a dominant performance once again, 62 points to 5. So we've seen some 60-point scores already in the competition, which is not the best thing for the losing teams, but Shan Altaf stepping into his role as co-captain in the absence of Trinity's regular captain Usman. And it will be a satisfying day at the office for them.
It's a comfortable win for the Trinitians, where they managed to decimate their opposition. Antonians will be very disappointed, dejected if you may, because they wanted to make sure they come in and put in a good performance. Because remember, the first game of the season always puts a mark on where you are trying to attack in the league. But for the Antonians, the best thing that's come out of this is that they've recognized that there needs to be a lot of work done with 3 weeks remaining to the league, Shanaka, while the rest of the teams are working towards the next round of knockouts. Antonians will have an opportunity to go back, look at the drawing board and try and correct what they need to work on.
Yes, absolutely. There'll be plenty to do in the upcoming week for both the winners as well as the losers. Hope that the Antonians' injury worry is not too bad. Had 2 men stretchered off, 2 key men as well. So that will be their first priority, to get them healthy. And here are the highlights. This is the first try from Yaddehige. 2 big handoffs. And Altaf making the conversion. And here's Yaddehige's second try. Nice little move coming from behind the decoy runner. Altaf thumping that one into the stands. And this was St. Anthony's first and only try, scored by the replacement prop, Senaratna. And Yaddehige running in the final try as well. So a second half hat-trick for man of the match, but an outstanding performance over the ball from Shran Satish Kumar as well. Won several penalties for his team and stopped some Antonian attacks dead in their tracks. So an honourable mention for him, along with several other players. Back of the hand offload. It wasn't tidy, but a nice pick up and go over the line for 9 tries from Trinity College against the 1. 7 of them converted, and 1 penalty knocked over early in the first half by Shan Altaf as well. Minula Yaddehige with 3 of those tries is our Swiss Tech player of the match.
Exciting win for Trinity on the scoring front, but the fluency, like we mentioned, is something that they will look at tomorrow. Coming up, 2 big games. The Petrites taking on Thurston College. That's at the Royal Complex, with Royal taking on the Kingswoodians here at CRNFC. The Kingswoodians will want to make sure that they try and turn their fortunes against Royal College, who will be yearning to start off the season where they finished off with surrendering the Bradby Shield that they long held. But the Petrites, the reigning league champions, will want to make sure that they do one better from last year in the President's Trophy knockouts.
Well, there have been 360-point scores today, Sudarshana, and Royal and St. Peter's would have been watching those, and I'm sure that they will be a little afraid of what they're going to unleash tomorrow, just to show that they're in the running. Thanks a lot for joining us today on our double-header broadcast here on the Papare. The Papare will bring you that those 2 matches tomorrow as well. None of them are under lights tomorrow. They will kick off at 4 o'clock, and we'll be starting our transmission at 3:45. So don't forget to join us on thepapare.com. From Sudarshan Pires, from Mario De Silva and myself, it's goodbye for now.
by co-opener.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
3, 2, 1, roll on.
ඉතින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංකික ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare සමග.
Welcome back to ThePapare.
Welcome to the live broadcast on ThePapare.
Good luck, guys. Good luck, everyone.
The Papare, Sri Lanka's #1 television sports channel.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get. Spray. Go.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. හැම සිතක්ම පිපිදේ, රස lemon රසයේ, ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි. Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, chill when lemon.
Radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා. නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා.
පිත්තියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. හැම සිතක්ම පිපිදේ, රස lemon රසයේ, ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි. Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, chill when lemon.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හික් එක සිත බැඳා මාකේ ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් දපේ
හිටක බදේ හොටේ හොට
guess මතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
ලස්සන පන් ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හිත් එක සිත බැඳා මාතේ ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් දපේ හිත් එක බදේ වටේ hot and spicy guess මතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproof දැම්මනම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සදහමයි.
Our mountains are majestic. They can be life-giving. Some are even sacred, and their heights bear marks of our heritage. Our mountains elevate us. To us, they are ever inspiring.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.